Hey everybody, Glenn here, and just wanted to update you guys on the Retro League, the NBA Retro League. We just completed our first playoff game. That being me, it was game one between the Rockets, the number 6 seed, and the Warriors, the number 5 seed. And the winner of this series goes up against the Fort Wayne Pistons in the second round. This is kind of like our play-in tournament, but it's a best of seven series. And today's game was awesome. I mean, it was a great game. It was the Warriors against the Rockets. The Rockets feature Carl Anthony Towns, Jason Tatum, James Harden. The Warriors feature Luka Doncic, pretty much. That's their best guy. Nikola Vucevic. What a game this was. And I'll just go through the article then. I just put up this, I just wrote an article and then I put it through AI. I'll admit it. I use AI. But a great game here. Let's just read through it. James Harden dominates young Donovan Mitchell in game one. James Harden leads the Rockets to victory. The opening game of this intense best of seven series saw James Harden dominate his counterpart Donovan Mitchell, outscoring him by 11 fantasy points, a critical factor that led to the Rockets' victory over the favored Golden State Warriors. Harden's performance set the stage for Houston to potentially apply significant pressure in game two. The first half, now, for those of you that don't play in this league and don't know what's going on here, we have a postseason playoff draw, and it's very random. So we just draw stats randomly from basically the beginning of the season until the end of March for our playoffs. We exclude the last part of the season, April, because a lot of teams hold players out and stuff like that. So, anyways, let's just continue here. The Warriors managed to keep control of the game heading into the crucial final shooting guard draw, even though star player Luka Doncic was limited to just 22 minutes of play due to an injury. That's because he was out for a significant portion of the season, by the way, and so there's a good chance that he doesn't draw a successful draw on his first draw, basically. So what happens is if your guy doesn't draw a period in which he played, he only gets like 65% of his minutes. If it takes two draws to get a successful period, then he only gets 33% of his minutes. And then if he gets four draws, he only gets 25% of his minutes. And then if he can't still draw after that, he gets zero. So at any rate, let's just get back to the article here. The front court play showcased equal intensity from both teams. Nikola Vucevic and Miles Bridges of the Warriors matching the efforts of Houston's trio of forwards, Jason Tatum, Carl Anthony Towns, and Scotty Barnes. Second half, Houston's comeback. Despite Doncic's reduced game time, because he took two draws for Doncic to get a successful draw. That meant he only got 65% of his minutes roughly. In spite of that, the Warriors still stayed in because they got a really good draw from their backup point guard, Amin Thompson. So the front court draws were pretty equal, and it was a tight game. And even though Doncic missed time in this game due to the fact that he had to take two draws to get a successful draw, they got good backup play from Amin Thompson. That's the Warriors. And so they were still hanging in there. Where this game came down, where it was decided, it was the two guard draws. Donovan Mitchell struggled, and he struggled pretty badly. And let's just read this part of the article. Warriors guard Donovan Mitchell struggled under the pressure of this first game of the playoffs, managing only 12 fantasy points in 29 minutes. And in this league, we use efficiency rating for our fantasy score. So it's very important for a player to be efficient, not missing shots, providing something besides scoring in the time that they're on the court. That means rebounds, assists, steals, lack of turnovers, not as many personal fouls, things like that. Look up the efficiency rating if you want to understand this league. So here's the deal. Donovan Mitchell just struggled against James Harden. Harden had a huge game. And if you look at the box score, you can see it. Donovan Mitchell right here at the top, 12 fantasy points, 29 minutes. That's not very good. When you look at James Harden, he led all scorers for the Rockets. 23 fantasy points, 34 minutes. Harden plays a lot of minutes at the shooting guard position, which eliminates the need for a backup. The backup was Kevin Porter. He only played 7 minutes. And then you had to use Cameron Payne, who played 7 minutes. Between the two, they scored about 4.5, almost 5 fantasy points. So from the two guard position, the Rockets scored about 30 fantasy points, and that's outstanding because a lot of teams don't even do that at the center position. So this highlights, the need for good guard play, because if you can get that kind of production from the guard position, it gives you a good chance to win, because a lot of teams can't even get 30 fantasy points in this league from the center position. And again, the big factor in this game was the fact that Luka Doncic played 22 minutes. He's always good when he plays, but he only played 22 minutes, and that's because Luka missed about half the season this year in the NBA. And that forced the Warriors to the bench, where they used Kobe White. Not Kobe White. I'm sorry. We're talking about point guard. They had to go to Ahmed Thompson, and Thompson played very well. In 26 minutes, he had almost 12 fantasy points. And in fact, that was not better than Doncic, but very good numbers. But the fact that Harden then was allowed to take advantage of Donovan Mitchell, that was the big thing. Look, I don't want to make this video too long. I want to point something out, though. The San Diego Saints, my team in this league, have the number one seed. And we do have a weakness, and it was highlighted in this game. The Warriors have Luka Doncic, a great player, right? But he was limited because of his availability. So he got 22 minutes in this game, scored a good amount of points in those minutes, but that really did cost the Warriors in this game, not to mention the struggles of Donovan Mitchell. The San Diego Saints are going to have trouble when it comes to Zion Williamson and Daniel Gafford. When these guys play, they could be limited in minutes, and that will be a problem for the Saints. This was a big win from the Houston Rockets. That's Williams' team, William Slavy's team. He beat Phil Johnson. Phil Johnson is the defending champions in this league. But ever since we moved to the salary cap, it's made things a lot more challenging. You had $210 million to spend this year. That budget's going to increase to $221 million next year. Generally, I'm basically just going to increase the budget by about 5% every year in this league. And I'm going to kind of keep track of what the NBA is doing in their salary cap. It's going to make things, tight and challenging, which is what we want. But anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent here. I just want to end the video just saying, hey guys, great game one here. Final score was Rockets 118, Warriors 116. Game two is tomorrow. It's going to be a fun draw, and it's a very random draw. I had a lot of fun doing it today. And I'm just kind of, enjoying this result. This was an exciting game because the Warriors it was close all the way through. Like halfway through it, I'd gone through the center draw, the power forward draw, the first small forwards, and things were tight. If you look at the box score here, sorry about the movement on screen here. If you look at the box score, you can see like Tatum had scored like 18 points for the Warriors, the Rockets rather. And DeMar DeRozan only scored like 10 points. That was another part of this game that was important for the Rockets' victory. Look, the Warriors will probably want to consider using Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder as their starting small forward in game two and beyond. I don't think DeMar DeRozan matches up to Jalen Williams. I know that DeMar is the big name, but I'm telling you right now that it's all about efficiency. And that could have cost the Warriors here in game one. They're going to have to consider maybe moving Jalen Williams ahead of DeMar DeRozan, because this isn't your grandpa's fantasy basketball league. It's all about efficiency per minute. And you can see you only get 48 minutes per position. So I don't care what the gross stats are. How good is the guy per minute? Think about it, guys. Again, big game one win for the Rockets, 118-116 over the Warriors. Game two is tomorrow. And I'm debating whether or not I'm going to play game three the day after that, or if I'm going to take a day off. I'll keep you guys up to date on that one. But I like to leave a little time in between things, maybe so I can write some articles, especially between series. So I might try to play one game a day, and just finish a series and then take like 2 or 3 days off before we start the next series so that I can maybe write some articles and build up the hype. So there's a good chance I'm just going to play one every day. We're going to play a game until this first round series is done between the Warriors and the Rockets so that we can move on to the next round, which is going to be the Pistons, that's Ben Johnson's team, against whoever comes out of this series. That's probably the way we're going to do it. It's going to be one game a day, get through it, and then I'll take probably 3 days off so I can preview the next series so that we can build up the hype and have a lot of fun with these playoffs. I love doing this stuff. I love the postseason draw. It's a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's a lot of fun for you. I write the articles and make this thing a blast. Hopefully, that's the idea. This is one of my babies. I love this league, and I really plan on pushing this thing through for the future too. I mean, I don't have any plans to back off on how much effort I put into it. Guys, let's just end it right there. I'm rambling. Great game one again. We'll talk to you very soon.